Welcome back. And amidst this tussle over collegium and judicial appointments between the Supreme Court and the centre, now the central government has approved the appointment of 2 additional judges to the Bombay High Court. You'd remember there's already an ongoing stalemate between the Supreme Court collegium and the union government over certain names that have been stuck over a long time. And now with these judicial appointments coming through, let's hope that the tempers cool down a little bit. Ananya Bhatnagar is with us on the broadcast. Ananya, you've covered those hearings where we heard the Supreme Court even going to the extent in saying that we might have to pass judicial orders if the government doesn't respect the collegium system. With the appointment of these 2 judges, what's expected?
Well, Anusha, these 2 judges' appointments have come in for the Bombay High Court. These are additional judges to the Bombay High Court who've been appointed. And remember that this is coming at a time when a massive tussle is on between the centre and the Supreme Court. We have seen how Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul-led bench had reprimanded the law minister for his recent comments over the collegium system. And in fact, today also top sources had in the morning informed CNN News 18 that over 20 names have been sent back by the central government for reconsideration for the collegium system, which also included the name of senior advocate Saurabh Kripal, whose appointment is in fact stuck for last 2 years, or last 2 to 3 years. So this tussle being going on between the centre and the state. In fact, we were speaking yesterday to senior advocate Vikas Singh, the SCBA president also, and he said that the law minister's recent remarks are very contemptuous in nature. In fact, contempt proceedings shall also be initiated against him in this regard. He also said that.
All right, Ananya Bhatnagar getting us all the details. Ananya, we seem to be having a problem with that connection. But as I was earlier talking about, the collegium controversy is one controversy that has not left the judicial appointments perhaps for more than 5 to 7 years, especially after NJAC was struck down by none other than the Supreme Court of India. Top sources tell CNN News 18 that the centre, the union government, has returned the file that had a list of about 20 names. These were the names suggested by the collegium for being appointed as the High Court judges. The name of the senior advocate, Saurabh Kripal, who's an openly gay lawyer, is on the list. It's one of the names that the centre has asked the collegium to reconsider. Union Law Minister Kiren Rijiju, while speaking to CNN News 18, had previously called the collegium system opaque, extra-constitutional. He said that judges spend a lot of time appointing judges, and there's a delay in justice system due to this. The top court, on the other hand, had expressed reservations about Rijuju's remarks, cautioning the government against passing judicial orders to censure recommendations by the government and not clearing the collegium. So the top court is absolutely clear that if the government doesn't respect the present collegium system, the Supreme Court will not shy away from passing the orders. We earlier also spoke to Law Minister Kiren Rijiju, my colleague Arunima in conversation. Listen in.
You have raised concerns about the current system of judicial appointment. What exactly do you feel is the problem with the collegium system? Why is that an issue? And what, according to you, is the problem of judicial appointment currently, because of which you think NJAC should be restored?
National Judicial Appointment Commission, it was an act passed by the Parliament unanimously. We were expecting that judiciary or the Supreme Court will respect the will of the people and will of the Parliament. But the Supreme Court, on its own wisdom, struck it down. If the NJAC was struck down, is the other practice or other mechanism which is in place better than what government had proposed? Definitely not. We felt that NJAC was a better option. But since the Parliament Act was struck down, we continued with the existing collegium system in appointing the judges. In India, now the collegium in the High Court generates the name, sends it to Law Ministry, then Law Ministry processes it, sends it to Supreme Court collegium. So all this process takes lots of precious time. So my only limited point is that we must find out a mechanism to ensure that right people are appointed as judges, and the sitting judges should not devote much of their precious time in appointment of the judges. But we have no alternative right now because collegium system has given this role to the judges, and the collegium system is very opaque, and people are not aware that how names are picked up, on what basis the names are generated. So these are opaque. So it is a concern not only as a law minister, I'm saying it as my opinion, but it is a concern of everybody.